Hello, everybody! Rob Tomlinson, aka DishNet34 here, welcoming you to today's episode of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 201. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh man, hopefully y'all have had a fantastic week so far. I know I have. Oh man, this week has been just absolutely incredible, Actually am going to be getting a passport here pretty soon, which is going to be pretty cool. I put in my application about a month ago, and there's been reported delays and all that, but you know what? I'm getting my passport very soon. I'm excited, so I can maybe do some traveling in the future. Like, who doesn't want to travel? Like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Am I going somewhere exciting? Maybe. Potentially. We'll see. You never know. You never know when you're going to need a passport. You just really don't. So, it's better to get one now and all that before you actually need it. I'm just saying. It's some good life advice. You gotta get something. You gotta get stuff before you need it. You really do. You really do. Go take in a legal deck. I would love to do that someday, Sweegie. I would definitely like to do that. Oh man, but you know what? That we have some good content today. We have some really good content today with the Build a Lineup Gold set. But you know what? We have a few news and notes to take care of before we get to that, which I have a feeling you guys are going to be very happy about these news and notes that are going to be coming up. So let's go ahead and get started. And we'll start with our first news and notes item. And as you all know, PTCS number 1 coming up this Saturday. That is right. Just a couple days from now, 2 days from now, the first Perfect Team Championship Series will happen Saturday, May 6th, beginning at noon Eastern. We are less than 48 hours away now from that. We're going to have finals coverage on our Out of the Park Developments Twitch channel. And I'll just say this right now. I'm going to need a lot of help with this one because there's going to be 10 PTCS tournaments going on at the same time. So please pray for my sanity when I do this stream on Saturday night. I'm hoping we can at least see a little bit of game footage, but forgive me if I'm focused on trying to get to every single one. I might have to focus on a few. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll figure out a broadcast strategy for that for Saturday night. But PTCS number 1, Saturday, May 6th. Top 128 teams from the last few cumulative weeks in each of the 10 eligible formats will be participating in the PTCS, and players will get a series of points based on how they finish in the PTCS. And the top 64 teams in those points throughout the first, I believe it's 5 PTCSs. I just copied this over, but it's actually the first 5 PTCSs will be going to the Perfect Team Master Series. That's fun. There will be separate PTMSs for regular tourneys and perfect drafts, and PTMS placement will be determined by the cumulative points earned in those Perfect Team Championship Series tournaments. And I do have the point breakdown for this. Is PTCS once a month? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the points breakdown for PTCS tournaments, I didn't manage to fit this on screen, but if you get first place in a PTCS tournament, you will get 300 points toward those PTCS standings. Second place, you're going to get 100 points toward those PTCS standings. Third and fourth, you get 75. Fifth through eighth, you get 40. 9th through 16th, you get 20. 17th through 32nd, you get 5. 33rd through 64th, you get 2. And 65th through 128th, you will get 1. So everybody's guaranteed at least 1 point in the PTCS standings when it comes to their performance. Now, first place through 32nd place in each PTCS will be getting a brand new PTCS exclusive card depending on how they finished. So some pretty cool stuff going on there. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the formats that we will have for PTCS number 1, here's a rundown of what they are again. Iron, if you qualified via the daily Iron route, you'll be getting a low Iron tournament. If you qualified via the daily Bronze tournaments, you'll be getting a low Bronze live PTCS number 1 format. If you qualified through the daily Silver tournaments, you'll be getting a Silver historical cap with a 1480 cap. If you qualified through the daily Gold, you'll be getting a Gold cap with a 1953 cap. If you have qualified through the daily Diamond, you'll have a Diamond Open tournament. If you qualified through the daily Open tournaments, you'll be getting an OOTP Era Open for your PTCS tournament. If you qualify through the daily wildcard tournaments, you'll be getting a Silver floor with a 2023 cap. And if you qualified through the weekly tournaments, what am I saying? The weekly tournaments, you'll be getting a Dead Ball to Boom cap with a 2001 cap. Now, as for the perfect drafts, if you qualified through the daily perfect draft route, you'll be getting a standard draft, getting 1 perfect, couple of diamonds down the rest of the way. And then if you qualify via the weekly perfect draft, you will be getting a double perfect draft. So pretty cool stuff happening on Saturday. Good luck to those that are participating. This is going to be fun. 10 tournaments going on at the same time. Whoo boy, that'll be fun. That will be fun. All right, we also have some news for you about Perfect League. That's right, folks, because Perfect League, we have a date. We have a date. The first Perfect League will begin on Monday, May 15th. May 15th is the first day of Perfect League. Winners of the Diamond League for the 2029 season, which will end on Sunday, May 14th, will advance to compete in Perfect League. Now, there will be 20 teams in the first Perfect League, but it will eventually be expanded to 40 when more Diamond Leagues are populated. There's still going to be some relegation going on. I haven't gotten the details of how that's going to work for the first season or two yet, but once we get to 40 teams, it's going to be anyone who makes the playoffs in Perfect League will stay up in Perfect League, and those who do not make the playoffs will be relegated. So that's kind of how that works. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work in the first couple of weeks, but stay tuned because we will be probably talking about that pretty soon. Winners of the Perfect League will get a special trophy highlighting their accomplishment. This is what the trophy looked like last year. And I actually have the physical version right here. It's going to be a little hard to see with the green screen, but there will be a different trophy. It's going to be kind of the same thing, but nice green color to it as well. And the Perfect League World Series streams will also return along with Perfect League for the week of May 15th. So expect the first Perfect League World Series stream to occur on Sunday, May 21st. So exciting times coming up in Perfect League. Unfortunately, no trophies for participating, although I was graciously provided a trophy last year by the Out of the Park team to kind of be able to show it off on stream, so thank you for that. I'm hoping there's going to be another one this year. Oh, gracious. But yeah, pretty cool stuff going on in Perfect League. But you know what's even cooler? What might be even cooler than Perfect League? I have a feeling there might be something a little bit cooler of a news item than the beginning of Perfect League. I have a strange feeling that you probably, have at least a little bit of an idea, because I am proud to announce that barring any unforeseen circumstances, the Perfect Team Live Open Beta will begin tomorrow. That is right. The long-awaited PT Live Open Beta will start tomorrow, May 5th. Now, heads up here, all right? This is important. Listen closely here, because the beta will be available with a new patch of the game that also releases tomorrow. So that means that you will need this new patch in order to participate in the open beta, as it will unlock functionality for Perfect Team Live. Now, a lot of y'all have been waiting for a patch for quite a while. We've been hard at work. The team has been hard at work behind the scenes getting the patch ready. And it's not just for Perfect Team Live, by the way. There are a lot of improvements coming to the base game as well with this patch. So go ahead and tell everybody you know, hey, OOTP 24, the patch, it's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow. Ah! Oh, man. So we do not know what time the patch is going to be. I would assume sometime in the morning. But we will let you know as soon as the patch is out that you'll be able to download it. Perfect Team Live, as you all know, is a daily opportunity to set lineups based on the live cards that you own. And based upon the real-life performance of those players, you will get rewards in Perfect Team. Now, the beta will not give out any perfect point rewards for performance, unfortunately. However, when it does officially go live, and we'll let y'all know when it goes live, as long as the beta goes well, perfect points rewards will be given out based on that player performance, plus bonus weekly and monthly leaderboard prizes. So there's that. I don't have any word on Go functionality at this point. I would assume so. But I think that's a question for Nico and anyone that runs the OOTP Go side of things. So we will have word on that hopefully soon. Now, you might be wondering, well, how does Perfect Team Live work? Well, here is how it works. So every day you're going to make a lineup, and a lineup is made of 9 batters, 1 designated, I believe, which includes a designated hitter, I think. I might have gotten that a little bit screwed up. 9 batters, designated hitter, which is basically any batter, 2 utility players, which is basically they're pretty much wild card positions, I would believe, 2 starting pitchers, and 2 relief pitchers. And it's using any live card in your personal collection. Now, a roster will contain 1 player at each position: catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left field, center field, and right field, based on the position named on the front of the live player's Perfect Team card. Future Legend cards are not eligible. They will have to be live cards. Shohei Ohtani is eligible at both starting pitcher and designated hitter and utility, but can only appear in 1 spot per day. And players cannot appear multiple times on the roster. Now, you can use a maximum of 2 perfect cards, 3 diamond cards, and 4 gold cards. However, lower cards may substitute for higher spots. So, for example, you can use up to 5 diamonds with no perfect cards, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gold cards instead of the 2 perfects and 3 diamonds, all that good stuff. Rosters. At this point, this is a beta, so things can change, folks. This is a beta, so things can definitely be changed down the line, and we will announce if any changes are going to be made. Rosters can be submitted until 10 a.m. Eastern each day, at which point the daily rosters will lock in. And rosters must be submitted daily to earn points. Perfect Team Plus players will have their roster auto-populate with the previous submission, and I'm already seeing some feedback on that. We'll definitely be talking about that a little bit. So, what's the point distribution going to be for Perfect Team Live scoring? Well, here's how it works. Hitters. If a hitter gets a single, 4 perfect points right there. If they get a double, that's about 6 perfect points. Triples, 10 perfect points. Home runs are 15 perfect points. However, if a player hits 3 homers in a day, bam, that's 100. That's a bonus 100 perfect points right there. Now, in terms of hits, if a player gets 4 hits in a game, that's a 25 perfect point bonus. If the player scores a run, that's 6 perfect points right there. RBI, 6 perfect points. If they walk or get hit by a pitch, that is 3 perfect points right there. If there's a stolen base, they'll get 8 perfect points. And with stolen bases going up, that might be pretty valuable right there. Caught stealing, however, you will lose 4 perfect points if a player is caught stealing. In terms of pitching, for starting pitchers, if they get a win in a game, that is 20 perfect points right there. Complete games are worth 50 perfect points. A shutout is worth 100 perfect points. An inning pitched would be 4 perfect points each. So let's say, starter goes 6 innings. That's 24 perfect points right there. Pretty good stuff right there. Strikeouts are 2 perfect points each. And if a player gets 10 or more strikeouts, 50 perfect points right there. An earned run, that is -2 perfect points right there. Relief pitchers, if they get a win, that is 10 perfect points right there. Saves are worth 30 perfect points. Holds are 15 perfect points. In any inning pitched, that's another 4 perfect points. Strikeouts are 3 perfect points for relief pitchers. Earned runs are -2 perfect points, and blown saves are worth -2 perfect points. I don't believe you'll be going in. I don't think we can go into the negative when it comes into perfect points. So I think the lowest you can have is 0 in a day, like combined. But I'd have to double check with that. So there we go. So let's take a look at kind of what the screen is going to look like, because we do have a bit of a screenshot for you just to kind of show you what this is going to look like. So on the left side of the screen there, you'll have your live cards that you can choose from. So let's say this guy's like Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Jacob deGrom, and it does show whether or not a player is injured or not with that little red plus symbol right there on the side of the player's name, right alongside the player's name. So like that Garrett Whitlock card at the time of this screenshot was injured at the time. And you can take a look at the lineup here, and it kind of shows off a little bit of that one rule where, you can, that lower cards can substitute for some higher spots. So you got like 4 diamonds and 1 perfect card there. So instead of 2 perfects or 3 diamonds. So you got catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left, center, right, and the DH. Got a couple of utility slots, couple of starting pitcher slots, and those couple of relief pitcher slots. So that's kind of how that is going to work. All right, so Perfect Team Live Beta opens tomorrow. Fun stuff right there. Now, a lot of Perfect Team Live, has to do with stats and how players perform on a single day. And that's pretty darn cool. But you know what I love about stats? Statistical research. Because, who doesn't love statistical research going back into the day and maybe up till the present time right here? That is why I absolutely love StatHead Baseball, powered by Baseball Reference, and you can be part of it as well. You can use code 23 OOTP 25 for $25 off an annual baseball or all sport subscription for StatHead Baseball. Offer expires July 1st, 2023, and I absolutely love this service, and I've said this before, I use this a lot when I create my slides for this show every single week. And, it's pretty darn cool to see, let's say this guy led the league in homers in a certain decade. Like, that's pretty darn cool information right there. Kind of helps with, like, the context of a card and all that. So you can join in on this action. And StatHead, it's not just for baseball. It's for football, it's for basketball, it's for hockey. Very, very awesome service. StatHead Baseball, powered by Baseball Reference. You can use code 23OTP25 for $25 off an annual baseball or all sports subscription. Have fun with that. That's awesome. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get to the meat of the lineup today. And it is Build a Lineup Gold. That's right. We're going to talk about the gold level cards for our Build a Lineup set today. Oh, man. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards to show off for you today. And we're kind of jump around a little bit. We're not going to be going in order of like overall and all that. We're going to start with the pitchers, then we're going to go to the outfielders, then we're going to go to the catcher, and then we're going to go to the infielders. So we're kind of going to be jumping around a little bit today. All right, here we go, folks. Let's get started, and we're going to start on the pitcher's mound. And we'll start with the guy who has been a revelation in the Boston Red Sox bullpen this year, kind of finding the fountain of youth a little bit. And that is from the 2012 LA Dodgers, Kenley Jansen. 83 overall, Kenley Jansen from the 2012 Dodgers. 114 stuff, 73 movement, 57 home run rating, a 112 pitcher BABIP, and 57 on the control. Now, as per usual, Kenley Jansen going to be a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. A little bit splitty here. 119 stuff, 83 movement, 70 homer rating, 115 pitcher BABIP, and 57 control against righties. And against lefties, a little bit 109 stuff, 61 movement, 47 homer rating, 109 pitcher BABIP, and 57 on the control. Extreme fly ball guy, 92 to 94 on the velocity. Slider and cutter combo here. So just kind of a two-pitch pitcher here. But that BABIP number looks pretty darn sweet, if you ask me. In 2012, Kenley Jansen pitched in 65 games for the LA Dodgers, 25 saves, a 2.35 ERA, 13.7 strikeouts per 9, and 3 walks per 9. And this was the first year that Kenley Jansen, really became the closer for the Dodgers. If I can find my stuff here. Yeah, this was really his first season kind of closing out games for the Dodgers. And honestly, I forgot about this one here because Javi Guerra was the Dodgers closer to start the year. Like, the Dodgers trusted Javi Guerra at one point to close games. Like, that just kind of blows my mind. Wasn't Javi Guerra like kind of good for a little bit? Or is this like a different like Javi Guerra? Okay, okay. So like there's two Javi Guerras right now, and it's like, woo, okay. But Kenley Jansen became the Dodgers closer after Javi Guerra struggled to start the year. BABIP against this year was a 221, which compared to the rest of his career was the second lowest BABIP that he had ever given up. Second lowest BABIP of his career. 221. And the big thing that mesmerizes me about his stats, the opposing slash line, because this is just ridiculous here. 146 batting average. 230 on base, 274 slugging, a 504 OPS against. That's incredible right there. That's one hell of a stat line right there. Fifth highest home run percentage, however, in his career at that 2.4 mark. So he did give up quite a bit of dingers during the year. That's something to be a little bit wary about with Kenley Jansen. But still a stud player. Kenley Jansen, 83 overall from the LA Dodgers, is in Perfect Team 24. All right, next up, let's go to the other reliever that is in our build a lineup set. And boy, oh boy, if you need a lefty specialist, this guy is your guy. And his name is Gary Lavelle from the 1979 San Francisco Giants. 85 overall, 94 stuff, 93 movement, 92 homer rating, 66 pitcher BABIP, and 50 on the control. Look at the splits against lefties right here. That is a lot of blue right there. 110 stuff, 128 movement, 116 home run rating, 76 pitcher BABIP, and 69 control. Fastball slider combo on this guy. But the big thing is, don't have this guy pitch against righties. Just don't. Don't. Just don't. I mean, it's 88 stuff, 79 movement, 83 homer rating, 62 pitcher BABIP, 43 control. It's not ideal, but you know what? If he is a shutdown player against lefties, straight up. During the season, okay, he's a ground ball pitcher, 91, 93 miles an hour, 28 stamina, 60 on the hold runners. That stamina could be pretty significant for a lot of people. 1979, Lavelle pitched in 70 games for the Giants, 96 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.51 ERA, 7.4 strikeouts per nine, a 141 ERA plus. Now, this was his second highest ERA plus of a full season in his career. That's pretty darn good. Now, we want to talk about the splits against lefties here. Splits against lefties and righties here, because this is something that definitely needs to be addressed. This is just against lefties right here. All right, during that 1979 season, 506 OPS plus against. Only walked 6 lefties in 109 plate appearances. I think that's pretty good. Now, we compare that to his numbers against righties, and it went a little something like this. 259 batting average, 348 on base, 381 slugging, 729 OPS, 5 homers against, 10 stolen bases against, struck out 54 guys, but 36 walks in 298 plate appearances. 304 BABIP against righties, 293 BABIP against lefties. So there is definitely a lot of splittiness to Gary Lavelle's game, both in Perfect Team and in a little bit in real life here. So something to keep in mind if you're getting this Gary Lavelle card. But either way, this guy is going to be absolutely rock solid against lefties. Should be a solid lefty guy in the pen. There you go. Gary Lavelle, 85 overall from the 1979 San Francisco Giants, is in Perfect Team 24. All right, next up, let's keep with the lefties. Let's go to our lefty starter. It is from the 1969 Detroit Tigers, 84 overall, Mickey Lolich. 1969 Detroit Tigers, 1 year after their World Series championship. 103 stuff, 81 movement, 75 homer rating, 84 pitcher BABIP, and 54 on the control. Now, he's going to be a little bit better against lefties in some categories, but there are a couple categories in which Lolich is a little bit better, including that home run rating and movement overall. Against lefties, 107 stuff, 75 movement, 68 home run rating, 88 pitcher BABIP, and 69 control. Against righties, it's 102 stuff, 83 movement, 77 homer rating, 82 pitcher BABIP, and 49 on the control. Fastball, curveball, changeup, sinker, and knuckle curve combo. Fly ball guy, 91 to 93 on the MPH, 90 stamina, 63 on the hold runners. Now, 1969 season for Mickey Lolich was pretty good. No 19-11 record, 3.14 ERA, 8.7 strikeouts per nine to 3.9 walks per nine. So a little bit worrying when it comes to the walk rate for Mickey Lolich. But a 1.19 ERA plus isn't bad, really. This was his first All-Star selection, Mickey Lolich, in 1969. But it was the highest walk rate of his career with that 3.9 mark, just one tick off from a 4 walks per nine rating, which a little bit yikes. But it was also the lowest hits per nine of his career with a 6.9. Pretty nice. He struck out 16 batters twice during that season. Let's go ahead and take a look at which games those were. He struck out 16 against the California Angels on May 23rd, 1969 in a 6-3 victory. And then a couple starts later, he did it against the Seattle Pilots. Against the Seattle Pilots in Detroit, 16 strikeouts, 1 walk in a 3-2 loss to the Pilots in that game on June 9th. So pretty cool stuff there. Had some other double-digit strikeout games. He did it against the White Sox once. He did it against the Yankees. Had 13 strikeouts against Kansas City. 14 against the Pilots in August. Lots of double-digit outings for Mickey Lolich. So there you go. Mickey Lolich from the Detroit Tigers 1969 edition in Perfect Team 24. All right, our final build a lineup pitcher. Final build a lineup pitcher is going to be 87 overall, Robin Roberts from the 1952 Philadelphia Phillies. Now, this guy, bit of a control specialist, pretty good pitcher BABIP, lots of stamina here, fastball, curveball, sinker combo. However, stuff movement, homer rating, a little bit on the low side here. 57 stuff, 67 movement, 60 home run rating. Now, again, this is Robin Roberts we're talking about, so homers are going to be a little bit of a thing with this guy. Going to be a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. 57 stuff, 69 movement, 63 homer, 88 pitcher BABIP, 102 on the control. 71 on the hold runners, extreme fly ball guy, 90 to 92 miles an hour, 28-7 record with a 2.59 ERA on the year. This was honestly one of his better years, to be quite honest. 4 strikeouts per nine, 1.2 walks per nine, 141 on the ERA plus. He was an all-star in the 1952 season. He was second in National League MVP that year, led MLB in wins, complete games, innings pitched, walks per nine, and had 8.4 wins above replacement. this was just a solid season for Robin Roberts. No, there's a lot of black italicized ink on his baseball reference page for that 1952 season. He also led in games started with 37, gave up just 292 hits, which was maybe okay. A 2.82 FIP, which was one of the lowest of his career, if not the lowest. Strikeout to walk ratio of a 3.29. But, this was an era where, there wasn't a whole lot of strikeouts. So striking out people, was a little bit non-existent, I guess. Or at least not as existent as it is today. But really, really good stuff from Robin Roberts that year. This is a career high in wins for him with that 28 win mark. The third season in a row where he had 20 wins or more, had 3 more 20-win seasons after that consecutively. Third of his 7 straight All-Star selections. This is just solid stuff. Solid stuff from Robin Roberts. He is in Perfect Team 24. All right, next up, let's go to the outfield. And we start in left field with our left fielder guy here. It is 86 overall, Lance Berkman from the Houston Astros. 2006 Houston Astros. 70 BABIP, 105 power, 49 avoid K, 87 contact, 59 gap power, 59 gap power, 108 on the eye. Now, like a lot of Lance Berkman in his career, he's gonna be splitty. All right, let's focus on the stuff against righties here. 74 BABIP, 120 power, 48 avoid K, 93 contact, 59 gap, and 109 on the eye. Now, against lefties, however, it's a whole kind of different story here. 57 BABIP, 60 power, 53 avoid K, so you're getting a little more avoid K against lefties at the very least. 61 contact, 60 on the gap power, so about a 1-point difference there, and 106 on the eye. So, not a whole lot of difference in eye right there, and that's really the only big thing with this one here. I mean, definitely not getting a whole lot of power against lefties. He can play first, he can play left, he can play right. He is qualified to learn center. Just make sure Tal's Hill is looking all right. Better at first base, however, than he is in left and right. 58 infield range, 39 error, 49 infield arm, 52 turn double play. In the outfield, he is 51 range, 59 error, and 58 on the outfield arm. He can't be platooned effectively. That is one thing that is a kind of a bonus with Lance Berkman. You can platoon him very effectively. Find a V left guy that you really like and, kind of platoon him in left field, maybe over at first base. I would personally play him at first base potentially. That's just me. 16 speed, 19 stealing, 38 base running, so just don't have this guy steal at all. In the 2006 season, however, he was actually pretty darn good. Pretty darn good right here. 315, 420, 621 on the slash line in that 2006 season. 45 homers. 45 homers. 136 RBI. A 163 OPS plus during the year. That's an insane stat line for 2006. Holy cats. He was an all-star, finished third in NL MVP, had a career high in homers and RBI during that year. Now, like we mentioned, his splits, 789 OPS versus lefties. Compare that to an 1142 OPS against righties. That's solid right there. He is a solid righty hitter. Honestly, I would not play this guy against a lefty, but that's just me. You can play him however you want. You can even try playing him against a lefty. I wouldn't recommend it, but it'd be funny. Just to kind of see what happens. So there you go. Lance Berkman, left fielder from the 2006 Houston Astros is in. Perfect team 24. Alrighty, next up, you know what? Speaking of those early to mid 2000s Houston Astros team, I guess, you know, those teams that, you know, made some playoff appearances, you know, made it to the World Series in 05, you know, they were pretty good, those early to mid 2000s. Here is our gold Carlos Beltran from the 2004 Houston Astros, 83 overall. Ooh boy, this one not looking too shabby right here. 52 BABIP, 91 power, 69 avoid K, 75 contact, 91 gap power, 92 on the eye. A little bit better in some categories against lefties, a little bit better in some other categories against righties. Against lefties, 51 BABIP, 93 power, 78 avoid K, 78 contact, 96 gap power, and 78 on the eye. Against righties, 52 BABIP, so you're getting a point more in BABIP against righties here. 91 power, 66 avoid K, 74 contact, 89 gap, and 97 on the eye. Speed, stealing, and base running. That's a big number right there. 89 speed, 104 stealing, 97 base running. Carlos Beltran was a speedy guy in that 2004 season. Had 42 stolen bases, career high that year. Hit 267, 367, 548, 38 homers during the year, 23 of them with the Astros. So he loved Minute Maid Park. He really loved Minute Maid Park. He was traded from Kansas City to Houston on June 24th of that year, tied Barry Bonds' single postseason home run record in that 2004 postseason, hit 8 home runs during that year. However, Astros losing to the Cardinals in the NLCS that year. But Carlos Beltran, solid player during this year. You know, the batting average, it was okay. 267, 133 OPS plus. Definitely not one of his best seasons. His best seasons, honestly, they came with the New York Mets. So that's something to keep in mind. But 38 homers, 104 RBI, that's nothing to shake a stick at, to be quite honest. Defensively, he can play center field. He's qualified to learn right. 69 range, 50 error, 91 outfield arm. Honestly, if I was in a position where I didn't really have any other better right fielders on my team, I would definitely be taking the time to train up Carlos Beltran in right field. That's just me. Because I feel like, 69 range, it's not really a center fielder in my personal opinion, but, a lot of people have their own opinions on that. And yes, Beltran was voted in as an AL All-Star, but traded to the NL before the game. I do believe he did manage to get in the game anyway. I do believe. I do not have the potential right field rating. However, if you do get him, I believe you can see it in the compare players screen. So that's something to take a look at. But I would imagine it'd be at least in the 60s, maybe the 70s, maybe. I'm not 100% sure though. I'm not the guy who comes up with that stuff. So, but there you go. Carlos Beltran from the 2004 Houston Astros in Perfect Team 24. All right, and we're gonna round out our outfield build a lineup gold cards from the 1974 St. Louis Cardinals. It is 85 overall, Reggie Smith. Reggie Smith, look at all the green on this card right here. 69 BABIP, 79 power, 67 avoid K, 83 contact, 68 gap power, 71 on the eye. Very interesting splits here against lefties and righties. A lot of green once again. Against lefties, 69 BABIP, 72 power, 68 avoid K, 80 contact, 76 gap, 71 on the eye. Excuse me. Against righties, 69 BABIP, 81 power, 67 avoid K, 84 contact, 65 gap, and 71 on the eye. Now, position-wise, he is mainly a right fielder here. He is mainly a right fielder. However, he is qualified to learn first base and center field. 71 range, 66 error, 63 on the arm. Not a big speed year for Reggie Smith. 24 speed, 46 stealing, 53 on the base run. Now, 1974 season was Reggie Smith's first year with the St. Louis Cardinals after being shipped away from Boston. And this was kind of a career renaissance for him at this point. 309, 389, 528 with 23 homers during the 1974 season, 100 RBI, 155 on the OPS plus, the second highest OPS plus in his career. He was an all-star in the 1974 season, and this was his lone season with 100 or more RBI. That's pretty darn good right there. So there you go. Reggie Smith. Don't have this guy bunt. 22 sack bunt, 11 on the bunt for hit. But you know what? This is a solid all-around card for Reggie Smith. And you know what? Reggie Field, you know what? That's a good nickname for him. Because that is not bad fielding in terms of, gold cards and right field right there. So there you go. Reggie Smith from the 1974 St. Louis Cardinals, 85 overall, is in. Perfect team, 24. Alrighty, let's go behind the plate. And speaking of those mid-70s St. Louis Cardinals, we go to 1975 for Ted Simmons, 87 overall, 73 BABIP, 69 power, 89 avoid K, 90 contact, 69 gap, and 59 on the eye. Very good hitter against both lefties and righties, really. 71 BABIP, 80 power, 82 avoid K, 90 contact, 67 gap, and 65 eye against lefties. And against righties, 74 BABIP, 65 power, 91 avoid K, 90 contact, 70 gap, and 57 on the eye. Now, defensively, this wasn't exactly a good year for Ted Simmons. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. I mean, this was his age 25 season, but he was mainly a little bit focused on hitting than he was on the defense that year. This was a 0.0 D-WAR year in 1975. Behind the plate, he had 28 pass balls that year. 28 pass balls, which led all of Major League Baseball. And in terms of caught stealing, he only caught 26% of base stealers compared to the league average that year of 32%. So he gave up 96 stolen bases, caught 33 guys trying to steal. So not the best percentages in the world right there for Ted Simmons. So I guess that kind of, takes a look at what the catcher ability and catcher arm kind of reflect from that year. He is, however, qualified to learn first base. So that's something to keep in mind. 12 speed, 8 stealing, and 50 on the base running for Ted Simmons during that year. Now, hitting-wise, this year for Ted Simmons, arguably the best season, one of the best seasons of his career. 332, 396, 491 on the slash line, 18 homers, 100 RBI, 142 on the OPS plus. He finished 6th in NL MVP that year. And during that year, he set the single season record for most hits by a catcher with 188. I'm not 100% sure if that record has been broken. I'm pretty sure it has, but I would have to double check with our folks over at StatHead. And this was the second straight season of his career that he had over 100 RBI. So pretty cool stuff right there. It's the second of 3 seasons in his career in which he had 100 or more RBI. So there you go. Ted Simmons from the 1975 St. Louis Cardinals is in Perfect Team 24. All right, folks, we got 4 more cards for you, and we're going to go across the infield here, and we are going to start off with our first baseman from the Build a Lineup set from the 1990 LA Dodgers. It is 89 overall, Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray, 81 BABIP, 82 power, 71 avoid K, 95 contact, 48 gap power, and 76 on the eye. A little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. 83 BABIP, 85 power, 70 avoid K, 97 contact, 50 gap power, and 80 on the eye. In terms of lefties here, 72 BABIP, 73 power, 74 avoid K, 86 contact, 44 gap, and 64 on the eye. Speed, stealing, and base running, 52 speed, 71 stealing, and 41 on the base running. Defensively, 44 range, 60 error, 36 arm, and 44 on the turn double play. So not the best defender over at first base. This is still kind of slightly late career Eddie Murray, I would say. You know, still, this was his age 34 year. People forget he played till age 41. But little quirk in his 1990 season. Hit 330, 414, 520, 26 homers, 95 RBI, and a 159 OPS plus. But a little interesting thing here during that 1990 season. So he lost the NL batting title to Willie McGee by a narrow margin. So Willie McGee had been traded from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Oakland A's. So he went from the NL to the AL. But he had enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title, hitting 335 to Murray's 330. Although McGee hit 274 with the Oakland A's, making his season average 324 combined between the NL and the AL. So that meant that Murray technically led the major leagues in batting despite not winning the National League batting title. Just a quirk of statistics right there. Just a real quirk of statistics right there. But yeah, so he lost the NL batting title, but still led the major leagues in hitting. Statistics! They're cool. He finished 5th in NL MVP that year. He was a Silver Slugger, career high in OPS plus. Led MLB in hitting, like I mentioned, but didn't win the batting title. So there you go. 89 overall, Eddie Murray from the 1990 LA Dodgers in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty. Coming up next, we got our second baseman from the Build a Lineup set from the Tampa Bay Rays 2012 edition, Ben Zobrist. Ben Zobrist, 84 overall, 57 BABIP, 60 power, 74 avoid K, 68 contact, 85 gap power, and 101 on the eye. Very good eye for Ben Zobrist right here. Some interesting splits here. 76 BABIP against lefties, 54 power, 65 avoid K, 78 contact, 96 gap, and 92 on the eye against lefties. Against righties, got 51 BABIP, 61 power, 77 avoid K, 64 contact, 82 gap, and 104 on the eye. He can play second, he can play short, and he can play right field. He is also qualified to learn left field as well. And, you know, this is some pretty good defense, all things considered, on this Zobrist card. 72 range, 62 error, 69 arm, 69 turn double play on the infield. So he's more of a second baseman than a shortstop, to be honest. But in the outfield, 81 range, 109 error, 85 on the arm. That is solid. That is very solid defense in the outfield for Ben Zobrist. And honestly, he might be better served playing the outfield. That's just me, though. Like, I would train up this guy in left field. Maybe play him in right field, potentially, for his defense. Or at the very least, have him as a utility guy on my bench. That'd be pretty cool. 64 speed, 70 stealing, and 73 base running as well. 57 sack bunt, 48 on the bunt for hit. In the 2012 season for Ben Zobrist, he hit 270, 377, 471 with 20 homers during the year, 74 RBI, 137 on the OPS plus. This is his second straight year with 20 or more home runs. I believe it was actually the last season in which he hit 20 home runs. Yes, that is. That is the last season in which he hit 20 home runs. Third highest OWAR in his career and third highest wins above replacement in his career with a 5.8 mark. Only a couple of seasons that are better than that. Only a couple seasons better than that, but you know what? His DWAR was only a 0.6 that year. There are a lot of seasons that were better than that. Yeah, pretty good stuff from Ben Zobrist during the 2012 season. This was really probably one of his, well, he had a few solid seasons afterward. I mean, honestly, he was a solid player in his entire career, but that's just me. But there you go, Ben Zobrist from the 2012 Tampa Bay Rays. He is in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, let's go now to the shortstop of our Build a Lineup collection. However, he's not a shortstop with this particular card. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1893 New York Giants, it is 82 overall, George Davis. 85 BABIP, 62 power, 74 avoid K, 91 contact, 80 gap power, and 41 on the eye. Now, this is a hitting George Davis card right here. A lot better against righties than he is against lefties. 86 BABIP, 63 power, 72 avoid K, 92 contact, 79 gap, and 41 eye against righties. Kind of solid against lefties too. 82 BABIP, 57 power, 79 avoid K, 89 contact, 83 gap power, 42 on the eye. 79 speed, 84 stealing, 55 on the base running, 79 sack bunt, 83 on the bunt for hit. But this is a year, this is kind of an earlier career George Davis here. Not his best defensive season by any stretch of the imagination, but this was his best offensive season of his career in terms of offensive wins above replacement. 5.6 OWAR that year. This is his first season that he primarily played third baseman. He was a third baseman before he became a shortstop in the 1897 season. So he was okay at third base, but the defense doesn't really, kind of translate. But this is kind of a decent, kind of DH kind of card right here. 59 range, 58 errors, 68 arm, 59 on the turn double play. He is technically qualified to learn shortstop as well. Not sure if I'd recommend it. But season for George Davis, spectacular. 355, 410, 554 on the slash line, 11 homers, 27 triples. 27 triples right here. Not bad. Not bad. And also another thing to note about this 1893 season, this was the first year of the 60 feet, 6-inch pitching distance. So something to kind of keep in mind with the statistical performance of George Davis here. 119 RBI on the year for George Davis. Career high in average, triples, and homers. And this year in 1893, he was the first person to hit a triple and a home run in the same inning. Pretty cool stuff right there. I believe, oh man, I forget what it was before 60 feet 6 inches. I really forget. Oh, you know what? I think I just found it. Yeah, I believe between before 1893, I think it was 45 feet. I want to say it was 45. I have someone in the chat saying 33, but not 100% sure on that. I'd have to double check my research on that. But yeah, so a huge difference going from that distance to 60 feet 6 inches. Yeah, that is something else right there. So there you go. George Davis from the 1893 New York Giants is in. Perfect team 24. All right, one more card to get through, folks. And it is the third baseman of our Build a Lineup set. From the 1999 Atlanta Braves, it is 88 overall Chipper Jones. 65 BABIP, 105 power, 72 avoid K, 91 contact, 71 gap, and 105 on the eye. Look at the splits against lefties here, folks. 76 BABIP, 117 power, 67 avoid K, 101 contact, 71 gap, and 99 on the eye. And he's actually kind of decent against righties as well. 61 BABIP, 101 power, 74 avoid K, 88 contact, 71 gap, 106 on the eye. Whoo, boy. Whoo, boy. This is a good one right here. 57 speed, 83 stealing, 69 on the base running. However, defensively, this was the third worst defensive WAR season of Chipper Jones's career. 46 rating at third, 62 range, 49 error, 59 arm, 34 turn double play. So you're getting a whole lot of hitting with this guy, but you're not getting a whole lot of defense. He actually had some good defensive seasons, but 1999 was not one of them. It was not one of them. He was the 1999 NL MVP, hitting .319, .441, .633 with 45 homers in the 1999 season, 110 RBI, and a 169 OPS plus. He won a Silver Slugger that year, career highs in homers, walks, stolen bases, and it was the best offensive WAR season of his career, a solid 8 offensive wins above replacement according to Baseball Reference, but a negative .8 defensive WAR. So pretty cool stuff right here. Great hitter, not a great defender. So could be more of a DH kind of card here, potentially. Probably can play against both lefties and righties here. Like, this is a solid card right here, and a solid way to round out the Gold Build a Lineup collection today. So there you go, 88 overall, Chipper Jones from the 1999 Atlanta Braves is in. Perfect team, 24. All right, folks, well, there you have it. Kenley Jansen, George Davis, Mickey Lolich, Ben Zobrist, Gary Lavelle, Reggie Smith, Carlos Beltran, Lance Berkman, Robin Roberts, Ted Simmons, Chipper Jones, and Eddie Murray are your Build Lineup Gold cards. 83, 82, 84, 84, 85, 85, 83, 86, 87, 87, 88, 89 overalls between all of those cards. So there you go. Good set today, folks. This is a fun set today. All right, before we sign off for the day, let's go ahead and say congratulations to our weekly leaderboard champions for week 4, April 24th through the 30th. Daily Iron, D. Dempsey 941 leading the leaderboard last week with 123 points. Daily Bronze goes to Jim Bowden and the Sacramento Riverbats, scoring 93 points last week. Daily Silver, A. Progler and the Ninja Black Sox taking home the weekly championship there with 97 points. Daily Gold, Bonkers 25 and the Brooklyn Cyclones finishing with 114 points on the week, taking home the top spot in that leaderboard. Daily Diamond, who is going to stop Jeff LTN and the Value City Viffers? Who is going to stop them? They scored 146 points this week. They are on a 4-week streak of leading the Daily Diamond leaderboards. Holy cow, folks. Whew. Is anybody going to stop this guy? Holy cow. Daily Open champion last week was DPL1 and the Bard Owls with 132 points. Daily Wildcard, Khan and the Vlad News Bears with 128 points, leading the leaderboards there. Weekly tournaments, Baw 5 and the Houston Slumpbusters taking home the title last week with 124 points. Daily Perfect Draft leaderboard champion last week was Esther 31 and the Minneapolis Millers with 109 points. Perfect Draft weekly champion goes to Caleb 1722 and the Wichita Wranglers with 82 points. Esther 31 and the Minneapolis Millers breaking Khan's 3-week streak of leading the Perfect Draft daily tournament leaderboards. Alrighty, folks. Well, that is going to do it for today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We will now, bit of a programming note before we sign off. Unfortunately, due to some work obligations I have tomorrow night, there will not be a new episode of the Perfect Draft Weekly Showdown. So I will be back here on the Stream Machine on Saturday night for the Perfect Team Championship Series. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, everybody. DishNet34, Rob Tomlinson, signing out. Have a great day, everybody.